What I want to look at in this video is how to print a prepaid AP check. That's a check in AP where we don't have an invoice to apply it to. So we go to the print AP check screen. It's transaction, accounts payable, print AP checks. And the first tab here is to print checks for invoices that have gone all the way through the approval process and they've been approved to pay. The second tab over here is for prepaid checks. You have a lot of the same fields, but obviously you can pick a checking account, and then you can pick this control account. And the account that shows up there comes from the CID maintenance screen under accounts payable for accounts. What you can see here is under prepaid expense, we have whatever that default prepaid expense account is. So it's going to automatically fill in for you here. You can override it. This will be the debit account when we print this check. So we have a check date, a check number, which will be on the counter for your checking account. You can change that if it needs to be changed, but that's going to be the check number. Who the check is going to, this has to be someone that's in the system already. A check amount. If you want to put a check note on there, you can do that. And then you would print a check. You have a special prepaid check form. Down here it's check PP. You can obviously customize that. It's a different form from your regular check. So you do want to make sure that that's been set up, that the layout is correct. Definitely print some alignment tests before you go ahead and print your first prepaid check. So let's go ahead and print one. Print that to a PDF. So there's my check. Close that. Same process here for reprinting if it was wrong. If you printed it on the wrong check stock, you can reprint, which will void the original check. I'm good with it, so I'm going to say no. The check run is now complete. So let's take a real quick look at what transaction just happened. Just going to run a batch and look at the distribution report, and you can see within here that we credited the checking account and we have debited that prepaid expense account, whatever the control account was when we printed the check. We've also automatically generated an AP invoice that is a debit. So now if I go into AP, I have apply AP debits. So I have this debit amount that's sitting out there. There it is, PP 570, prepaid, check 570, and there's our amount. At some point that's going to have to get applied to an invoice that vendor is going to send us. So I'm going to select that one, I'll pick a paid date, and then I can apply it to some invoice. Move that down to the bottom, click Save. The debit is now applied. And if I run a batch again, we can see that we have debited AP, and the same account that was used during our prepaid check has now been credited. Had we used a different account when we applied the debit, it would have credited that different account. In addition to that, one other thing that should be noted, on the AP aging report, you can print by AP account. So if you want to exclude those debit invoices, those prepaids, you can do that, or you can run it just for them. So if I wanted to run just for all accounts starting with 29050, or maybe all of my regular AP accounts, I can do that on the AP aging. Obviously, if you leave it blank, it will show everything. That's it for prepaid checks in Adjutant.